I think your question is very, very legitimate. We shall follow it up. If you are available in November, we shall invite Nira to come back and give us the update then. We are still around. If we do not meet them in November, we shall meet them in March. If we do not meet them in March, even in the next year of election, we shall be here. The only difference is that I will not be chair of this committee because, as you know, the ruling party is not allowed to chair this committee. So my party will be in government. And probably as the Prime Minister, I may not be in a position to sit here with you, but I will remind you. Okay. Honorable Gaffer.
That time.
To record the names by which a person is known by. Whether they are 10, or they are 5, or they are 2. It is part of the identity of the person. So we encourage people to tell us their names. Otherwise, they will pass off in society as one person and commit crimes under another name.
Okay. This thing of change of name where people have to go and swear did Paul etc. Is there a way you can simplify it? For example, and now I'm asking you as our technical person. For example, other than going through commissioner, then go and gazette, etc. Isn't there a way you can simplify it by providing forms which would be available at sub-county level?
And Chair,
I will ask.
I raised the question of change of names. I've received the complaints from mostly the pensioners, these older people. When they went to register, you know, these pensioners, they had the names they were using on their official records. Now, when they went to register, unknown to them, that when you give so many names, you are altering your identity. And they were tricked by NIRA officials. Now, they are burdened to look for money to now file for change of names to return to their original names.
How were they tricked?
The same thing she was mentioning, that the names were known by. For example, Segona Akari Amagwa, you will find yourself with Akari Amagwa when it was just a popular name somewhere.
Unless your name is a trick.
Now,
but we just recorded all names.
I think those people who are
the
people who are recording.
Wait. The registering person, the official registering.
Yes.
How would he even know
when these people give their names?
The name that you're passing around with?
No, when these people.
Let's not shield our voters into making mistakes.
I'm making a case for these older persons because they are majority are victims.
But if no, even if that old person is old,
someone is called Isalongo in a village, and he finds a needle registering Isalongo.
That's okay. You have a Salongo here. We have a Salongo Willie Kunya, whose title Salongo is in the passport. That is what he goes by. You remember in your first or second year, the case of Namwandu against Attorney General versus Attorney General. Now, somebody decides to go by the name Namwandu. Okay? So if someone has submitted the name as such, what do you want NIRA to do?
Chair, according to the respondents, they were not well briefed. That we have to use, we are seeking NIRA going forward to brief the people well.
You need somebody to brief you about your name?
Chair, we are talking on behalf of the people.
I will not speak on behalf of people who do not give their correct names.
Chair, they give their correct, when they are gathering information, they ask them so many questions. There are those names they use, they always give those names, and by which they are known by. Then there are these other past names and other.
No.
When NIRA is gathering information, they don't get this for now. They are burdened now with the challenge of a costly change of names.
I am now guiding that you no longer be heard on this matter.
Chair, you are betraying the people. The people, NIRA must devise means of improving on his
The
communication.
people have betrayed themselves by submitting wrong names. Nobody will guide you that this is not your name. The only thing I have heard, and which I believe is where somebody tells you, and she has answered it, where somebody tells you those names are too many. If that was the complaint and that these people stopped you from submitting some of your names, I would understand. But somebody chooses to go by some popular name and he does not register it, or he registers it, then along the way he wants to change his name. I mean, you meet the cost. I was dealing with the question of where somebody is called Henry. Then on one land title it is Henry, on the other one it is Enrico. Do you blame land office? I think let's deal with the more serious matters of oversight onto the entity. Honorable Bakabulindi.
Thanks very much, Chair. I'm sorry I've come late, but there's something burning that I wanted to be clarified.
Why didn't it burn you to come inside?
Also, I was attending equally other issues. Chair.
That's number one. Number two, from your end, make sure your machines are there, make sure the people are trained, make sure the people know. And at every station, there must be somebody who takes a decision or supervises others. I think that's where the only way I would allow a fault on them. But that some Ugandans are not interested. Bulambuli.
Elgonos, Chair.
Well,
thank you, Chair. Chair, I wanted to ask the accounting officer. I have a case here whereby this person applied for the national ID on 23rd April from Bulambuli, 23rd April 2025. The student was admitted on government sponsorship, and one of the requirements was to provide a national ID because it's 21 years. He had applied at school, did not get. For this case, he applied now from Bulambuli and he was enrolled. They sent him to Kololo so that he would be helped to process it faster. The application ID was given to him. I can read it for you. Since this committee is evidence-based, I don't want you to. The application ID is 124 435 000 8F04. And the names of Nangoli Apollo. Nangoli Apollo. Chair, when you go to Bulambuli, Nangoli is the common name because these are successful people in the community, so it's very common.
Please allow me pick the last
to
digits.
date,
The last
000.
000 8F04. That is the application ID. To date, we are now in August. The boy has not what? He reported to Makerere actually last week, and they insisted they want the original ID because it's on government sponsorship. Could you give more light on that?
I'll ask my team to send for details of that application ID. We shall resort to it as soon as I get information on it. Change of name.
My relative, I was helping. They had registered them from the school. There was an error in the name. I have no problem with that. We went to NIDA, put the correct names, paid the 200. It is now 4 months. Whenever we check that the name is hanging. What do you mean by that term? I have all the details, the pictures here. 4 months down the road, the boy has never got his nanny card. And the answer is, some names are still hanging in the system. What does it mean? Nanny? That is not your confusion. I want to get an answer from NIDA. 4 months. Can I know what is causing that?
In March 2025, the existing cards that we had at the time before we started the mass enrollment exercise, they ran out. So until we started the new exercise, there are people who were caught in the middle. They were caught before, they registered before the exercise started and before we got a new set of cards. We received all our first set of 8.1 million cards at the end of June. And until this financial year, that's when we received money for the additional cards. So it's a case of we ran out of cards, we've applied for new cards, the cards have all come, and we are beginning to distribute them. Thank you.
Chair, I've listened to the excuse, which sounds nice. Madam, can I check on you within a month from now that you got the money?
Yes, sir, you can. And not a month, he can come. I don't know his nearest district. We shall get, they have given us some, like this 134-435-0008F04. We shall consult them and ask them to come to their nearest office. And for some, they may need to do a biometric update to get their iris because the old card didn't have an iris. This one has, and their card will be processed. Thank you.
Okay, we need to close this.
Chair, there was a question I asked on charging people.
Yeah, she's going to answer that. Honorable Itungo.
My question, Chair, is not answered.
Which one?
I was concerned about whether there are new features on the renewed IDs. What are you renewing? Are you only renewing the expiry date or the other features you have renewed on the new card?
I have asked for for devices to come to demonstrate the new features. If you will allow me,
But there could also be new features which are obvious. For example, if Honorable Itungo looked different 10 years ago, when you come for renewal, naturally,
So if you look at that card, the security features are highlighted. Those were not the number of security features we had.
What is the difference? If you could highlight.
If someone could bring us their old card, I would have the demonstrable difference.
You have your old card. Wait. Let's start with this.
If you notice in that card, only the side is lit.
Yes.
Only the side has engraved security features.
Yes.
But this card, if you notice, the whole card is shining, if I may use that language. Okay. You see? There is micro print, there is text speech.
I'm seeing on your behalf.
Let him walk around.
Okay, you can walk around
in the middle.
No, Chair, I remember I asked a question.
Yes.
As to whether there were some forgeries.
Some people want to see
on the old card that perhaps could have been the justification to go for this renewal.
The key forgery was people were overwriting the picture, and Chris, you can show him the ghost image. No, you'll have to release it officially.
You have not received your card. No, I think, Honorable Muzali, the question you're asking, there used to be, before integration.
There were people where, if you allow me to show you.
Yes.
Chris, if you would come back out.
No, he's still showing Honorable Mwadankwenyinji. But Honorable Bakabulindi, you need to see with your eyes, not your finger.
Chairman, Mr. Yes. Chairman, is it the difference is only on shining, or there are also other features?
She will answer that. You know,
I think it is. I use the word shining for ease of explanation, but it is because if you go and buy a card from Nassau Road, I vow to you that it will not show you that that shine or that lighting under purple light. That is the same that they look for in money. When you go and they are trying to validate, those are security strings inserted to ensure that the card is
How much
secure.
is that? How much is that torch?
This torch is, I think, is 5,000 or 3,000 shillings. I don't know.
Oh, it's the ordinary one
Yes.
Itungo has for his
Yeah,
calves.
it is not a.
Okay, let's conclude.
Maybe if I return to what, if you notice that we put something under the face here called NID. Previously, it was not there. People would just go to NASA Road and overwrite this picture with someone else's picture and keep the rest of the detail. Now we've embedded a ghost image here and even in the map to address that. We've also embedded features that return a person to our side to verify with consent what we actually have on our side. And it's a small barcode that has a link to get details right. It's an online verification, if we may so say. We have also added what is called tactile, or for those who are living with disability, to be able to identify on which part of the card their name and card number is. We had put it on the NIN, but it had an interaction with a hologram that was not favorable. We've added an additional hologram. So we have a total of about 9 new security features. Thank you.
Question on the people charged.
Which she didn't answer. As to whether the budget she asked for is basically to cover the entire exercise of renewal, or every year we shall.
That one and the one of charging people under Mwada raised.
The budget we asked for was for 17.2 million new registrations to address anybody in the country who has never been registered, and 15.8 million renewals, but it will cover all cards up to 24 million and all new registrations. So we are hoping that with your support, not necessarily financial, but in mobilization support, people will come out and those who've never registered, register. Those who need to renew, renew. That being said, I want to commend the people of Uganda. It is not usual that in a space that every week we have close to 1 million or 1.5 million people coming to seek our services. We highly commend the effort that Ugandans have made in getting their names in the National Identification Register. Thank you. On the 10,000 shillings, we have severally said in all languages. We actually acquired a person who speaks very many languages to tell people that you don't have to pay. In all local languages, widely spoken.
Now, when they don't pay, they are not served.
For
Now
that sort of people.
This is where the challenge is. They say, if you don't pay the 10,000,
Yes.
Chair, this is
I
important
think
information.
it's an act of corruption.
Because the people say, if you don't pay 10,000, they
Honorable
don't
Mwada.
allow you to line up, they don't serve you.
Honorable
Now, what
Mwada.
should the people do?
In your constituency, as we speak now, there are some people who tell your constituents who want to see you that you give me 20,000 to see,
Chair,
to see the MP. In my case, I have received and exposed several. Now, that's an act of corruption. You do not expect the executive director of NIRA, seated at her offices in Kololo, to know those vices. Unfortunately, we have heard all those stories, all of us, I think, as MPs. But unfortunately, they cannot come forward to tell. Even when we gave him Kwirinjira, a trained spy,
But Chair,
he cannot deliver on that.
Chair, it is her exercise. It is NIRA doing this exercise of mass registration. The people are complaining that without 10,000 you can't line up.
Honorable-
If you line up, they don't
Honorable
serve you.
Kwinyinji
They send them
Muwada.
away for days and days.
Yeah.
What is she going to do in behalf of NIRA?
Just
So that people are served.
bring her a few.
Exactly.
There are very many.
We have-
Where,
Okay,
where
you
should I
bring
bring
the
them?
many.
Chair, if you will allow me to answer,
Yes.
if I may be allowed to answer. Every time we arrest, I'll give an example of Butambala. We received a complaint. The politicians went on ground. We're having what meeting is called, like an open door meeting. People stepped out and said, we would like to complain. They accused a couple of people. Police went in, arrested the people. They kept the people for 2 weeks without a complainant reporting to the station. But anyway, for some districts like Mubende, we have arrested 4 persons. Tulibamu, Sempebwa, Nalweiso. And
Have you prosecuted them?
yes, these particular ones.
Have you had them convicted?
It's not very easy because the
No, you see, that is the problem I have even with Uganda police. You come here on the microphone, in front of the camera, you parade people, and I come from the background of a lawyer and a human rights defender. People who are not going to come here to defend their
themselves.
names.
Fair enough.
So I will expunge that.
Okay, I apologize.
Ugandans, let us do it this way. When you get out to complain, be prepared to pursue it all the way. That's number one. Number two, when someone asks you for money, report to police. Let the police give you money where even the serial numbers are already recorded, or even your own money. Let the police record the serial numbers. You go, you trap their people. But you do not expect somebody seated in Kololo to know who has solicited for gratification. I will only allow the Honorable Kasolo, who has not had time to ask. If it is simple, you know.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And my concern to the accounting officer is one. Madam Accounting Officer, whereas the exercise is good and we like it, within the country, it's still lacking. You have not covered the country. Now you're abroad. How do you, what picture does it paint when the nationals within the country have not been covered? And you are now in Doha, Dubai, and everywhere. When really you have not
Honorable
handled-
Kasolo, Ugandans have been given an opportunity. One, to do mass registration. Two, the services to Ugandans are continuing at the sub-county.
Mr.
Those
Chair.
that did not enroll.
Mr. Chair, my concern,
Why would you stop Ugandans abroad
my
from
concern
receiving
is one.
services?
Where I come from, people sit, you wait,
Yes,
and these are people, locals who are farmers and
that
what have
is
you.
true.
They sit, go, they book them that we're going to be in a particular parish or a sub-county. They wait 3 days, they don't see them. Now, for me, who is in Kampala, my Nila is in Doha, doing, and you're saying you're
But are
painting-
there Ugandans in Doha who
no,
need services?
we don't envy them. But it would be much better if they are done thorough work.
No,
in the
for
country.
Ugandans, the exercise is
Mr.
ongoing.
Chair, I'm asking the entity, but it seems you are now defending.
No,
the
because you
entity
came
more.
late.
Eh?
No, wait, because you came late and we have covered that area. I'm only polite to you as a colleague to allow you re-ask a question that has been
But
answered.
it doesn't.
And I'm guiding you.
It doesn't cause harm on the.
It does, because it consumes our time. No. Let's go to the report. Report, issue number 1. Madam Chisholm, and you gave us some answers. So the question is, the answers relate to system. So our questions are, was it in your work plan? Did you have a budget for it? Was it to be carried out by a specific date? Was it done within the time frame provided? If not so, why? This system, was it not foreseen that you would need it? Thank you.
In the financial year 2023-2024, it was envisaged that mass enrollment would start early. Therefore, we had planned for alien registration after or midway the mass enrollment exercise would start the alien registration. The budget or the first appropriation was received in December 2023 as a supplementary, and the actual appropriation came in for the system came on June 21st, 2024. So we were not able to provide the system features for the enrollment of aliens.
And the status now?
The phase, it comes as phase 2 of our current system, and it will be delivered at the end of October 2025.
Any questions, colleagues? Honorable Sivambi.
Thank you for the opportunity. As a human rights lawyer, I know, is this term not derogatory? How can you create here alien? We are fighting sectarianism and derogatory use of words on human beings. But alien, are they from Mars?
You want to substitute it?
Is a human being. You can have a better description than the word alien. I don't know.
Non-Ugandans?
Yes, maybe
Okay.
non-citizens, but alien.
Write it down, but what word do you use in the law?
No, law has never been.
But you see, for her duty is to go by your script.
You know, we need her technical advisors
Yes.
so that we can change.
Now the human rights
laws.
lawyer in Honorable Swambi is asking you, would you not technical advise us to change? Write it down. Honorable Nkunyenji Mwada, and you know when I come from that end, I will not come back.
Chair, the rules allows you to come back, but
I will not apply them that way.
But Chair, on page 4, I'm concerned with the response.
We have 3 documents, page 4
I'm holding this document, the report of the Auditor General.
Okay,
On
page 4 of the report.
Alien registration. Now, reading that, according to NIDA, they are saying their registration module and its functionality could not allow generation of IDs for what they call aliens. Now, we just want to understand, how can NIDA have functional systems of registering various categories of people, including Ugandans, generate information, but claim it cannot print or generate IDs? Is it specifically targeted on a particular module or IT system? Is NIDA trying to account for more funding? Or does NIDA want to say that they have no other ways of printing IDs for what they call aliens?
It's a very good observation, very, very good observation. Again, rooted in suspicion. Trust Honorable Mwada. You've never trusted them.
Because generate information, which is required
How
for
can
an
you
ID.
have
How can you fail to print
a system which is intended to register aliens, but then it has no module which will help you generate a card? Why? Because these people will need to identify themselves wherever they are, especially when they are seeking services.
If we step into the history of the National Security Information System that was used in 2014, it was before NERA's Act was put in place. Therefore, at the time that the system was acquired, the role of registering aliens was not a role of NERA. Therefore, the system was acquired before the law was put in place. Subsequently, when the law was put in place, the module was sought. And when the module was sought, by the time it was to be delivered or something, the relationship with the service provider had expired. Thank you.
That one is not conclusive. You need to conclude or complete your answer for completeness. One, to date, you do not have that module.
To date, we do not have that. To date, the module is under development. We don't have it now in production. What in IT language is called in production. Why would it be different from the information we collect for Ugandans? The definition of a citizen and the definition of an alien differ in law. Therefore, the information acquired for registration of a citizen and the information acquired for the registration of an alien are different. Even the documents they present are different. So as such, when the system was delivered, it was delivered for the 147 features that are used to define a citizen of Uganda. So we are as I said, in October 2025, we shall roll out the alien registration module. Thank you.
Chair, I apologize, but I think the executive director is not honest. We are all Ugandans. We even do printing. Even companies print IDs. What is so special that you have information and now you say you will never print IDs for foreigners or aliens just because you're waiting to purchase or procure a system when you have so many other both external and internal systems? It doesn't add up well. Isn't it an attempt to try to justify more resources? It's a blanket check that we want money so that we procure systems. The word system is a cover-up. You have the information. And are you saying that without procuring that system, you won't fulfill your mandate of capturing data?
Sir, as you may observe, I have not requested for resources. We said the module is part of the new system. It is part of phase 2 of the new system. It was not part of the first system. We are not requesting for any additional resources, sir. We are simply saying there were 17.2 million unregistered Ugandans, 15.8 million needed to renew their cards. There are 60,000 registered aliens. We thought it prudent in
taking the explanation of the accounting officer, my question then would be, what was the rationale of NERA planning in this financial year under scrutiny to register, I can see 30,000 aliens, when you knew you did not have the system in place? Why wouldn't you plan to put the system in place before planning to register, knowing that you needed this system for you to be able to do it? Because we are looking at what you planned vis-a-vis what you managed to do and what you didn't do. The reason you didn't do it because you didn't have the system. But when you were planning, you knew that you did not have this system. So what was the rationale now behind the planning? For me, that's my concern.
In October 2022, Cabinet approved the mass enrollment and renewal exercise that was supposed to deliver the system with all the modules. It was envisaged that in July 2023, we would receive funding. The funding first was appropriated in December as a supplementary. So all the factors aligned to this issue were beyond the control of the organization. By the beginning of the financial year, for bandage to be passed, you had to have a work plan. So we planned to roll out a new system, have a module that would register aliens.
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity. Chair, Auditor General's report, page 4, where the auditor indicates that whereas NIRA has taken initiatives to register a targeted number of 30,000 aliens in their operations plans during the financial year, I noted that over the years, this has not been put into action. And the last statement say, in addition, failure to register aliens means that the expected revenues for the year of USD 3 million will not be realized. I want to understand from Madam Chisembo.
Before she answers it, listen to this. In the Treasury Memorandum, page 107. NIRA budgeted to collect 15 billion shillings. However, by the end of the year, only 7 had been collected, representing 47% performance. The accounting officer was advised to carry out a cost-benefit analysis of upgrading the new system to support alien registration. If found non-viable, NIRA should consider the other options for achieving alien registration, including expanding the development of the functionality of a new system.
Chair,
Yes.
what I wanted specifically to know is how much per alien to register, how much, at how much
15 billion divided by
Because-
30,000.
Because when you get 30,000 aliens,
Aliens, yes.
meaning each one is registered at $100. So
That is
that's what
correct.
we wanted to understand, that if that's the right figure.
That is the right figure, sir.
Okay.
I think what the members are asking, especially noting from the Deputy Chair and Honorable Gafabusa, is that, I mean, this, well, apart from being a service, it would bring something into our coffers. In other words, that it would justify the cost. What would be so difficult about getting or trying alternative means? You could even work in liaison with UPPC. It is our own establishment. First, you deliver the service, but also it contributes to NTR, because the outer general is saying, why didn't you try alternatives? Maybe it is so scientific, I may sound like the person who wanted to arrest foreign exchange.
The cost of the $100 is the cost for the card. So it was not, we've got the biographical data of a couple of aliens whom we gave alien identification numbers. But we did not issue them cards. So in essence, we were going to obtain money from them without
Print
giving the service for which the money was obtained.
In other words, Ugandans were not expecting a financial benefit, because the money they pay is used to print their card.
No, it's the cost of the card is far less than that, but the additional is the revenue.
Yes.
Yeah,
So, for us, we lost revenue.
that's true.
Why? First, because of the reason you have given.
Yes.
Second, because NIRA was not innovative enough, that they could not devise alternative means.
The card that we offer needs to have more than just a card. Otherwise, we would all print it downtown. But
Yeah.
we had to embed within each the features,
Honorable Mwada would want you to print it from NASA.
and we would love to. But it has to align to a standard called ICAO 9303. If we did that, it would not align to some of the standards that security documents or national documents must comply with.
How long does it take to develop this system?
Well, we received money in June 2024. The system we rolled out in May. So it takes anything between 8 to 12 months.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gaffer?
Thank you, Chair. Going back to the question I asked and the response I got, why we planned to register these aliens without the system in place. My understanding from the response, Madam Kisembo, is that therefore, because we did not have the system, which is still under development, we did not do anything about it in as far as registration of aliens is concerned. Now,
maybe I'll correct something about that. We collected information of some aliens and registered it, but we did not collect the revenue related to giving them cards.
I'm still about the registration because I'm looking at the system and what's supposed to capture. So because we are still having the system under development, we are not able to do the registration. Now, I want you to look at the financial statements. Colleagues, I refer us to page 6 of the financial statements. And look at page 6 is talking about key performance highlights. And you look at number 20, registration of legally resident aliens and issue national IDs. If you look at the last column of achievements, you see 8 applications were received and 8 alien identification numbers were generated. I want to find out how these identification numbers were generated without that module, without that system fully developed.
Numbers and cards.
Yes. How were
There is a difference.
No. These are national identification numbers. So how were they generated without a system?
I earlier alluded to the fact that we did collect applications for aliens, but the money generated is around cards. So unless the module that we are lacking was the print module, the card for the national is fundamentally different from the card for the alien. So the card we have in the what we call the card personalization system, the module that prints cards and asks for country, whatever, is not. Those are not the same questions or the same template that the card for the aliens has. So we needed a specific module to print out the cards for the aliens. So that is why we collect, for those 8 people, they applied and they were desperate. They were working with government on projects and wanted an alien identification number. We gave them the number, but we did not give them the card.
Exactly. We are saying the same thing. The question I'm asking, my assumption is that for them to get these